morning. It's Monday, March 25th. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on Up to the Minute. We're bringing you all the news announcements and events, along with a couple of special guests. I'm Dr. Amy Tan, Dean of HCC's English and Communications, and I'm joined by my co-host, Dr. Nicholas Cox, who is our History Department Chair. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning. It's great to see you again.
You too. Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, it was a pretty light, pretty relaxing weekend. I spent Saturday out in Katy at a marching band contest or a percussion contest with my younger son. It was nice.
Yes, that is fantastic. I also spent the weekend with one of my daughters at a volleyball tournament, so it sounds like it was a busy parenting weekend. But I know everyone's happy about the UH Cougars win, going to the Sweet 16.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Go Cougs. There's so many of us here at HCC and the faculty, so it's good
I know
news.
one of our guests is excited, and we're about to get to him. But before we do, we're live on HCCTV when HCC is in session. But Nick, how can people find us?
Well, we are live on the Houston Community College District Facebook page. We're on YouTube. We're also on X, LinkedIn, and on HCC TV at noon, 5 and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Excellent. For Mental Health Monday, we're visiting again with NAMI. That's the National Alliance of Mental Illness. And our guest is Angelina Hudson. She's the Executive Director of NAMI Greater Houston. Welcome back to the show, Angelina.
Hello, it's so nice to be invited back. Thank you for having us.
Well, I'm always happy to hear what's going on with NAMI, but if you'll hang on just a minute, Nick will be right with you. Thank you. Excellent. But first, we're going to have our Music Monday guest. Our guest returns. Our guest is a faculty member talking about some master classes and other news from the Music Business Department. I'm happy to welcome Dr. Christopher Cruz Williams. He's one of our HCC Music Business faculty and co-advisor of HCC's student group, MESA, M-E-S-A. Welcome to the show, Cruz. I think you're muted. I do it all the time, by the way.
Sorry, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's great to hear from you. So I know you're excited about the U of H win.
I am excited. I love Houston sports, and plus I'm an adjunct faculty at U of H as well. So it works out. My students will be happy today, I'm sure.
It's good that you're bringing the energy for Monday morning.
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, I'm looking forward to discussing tomorrow's masterclass, but first, let's talk about the music business program at HCC. Can you tell us a little bit about the growth of the program and some of your partnerships?
Yes. So the program is really growing. And what I mean by that is that we're seeing class increases since post-pandemic, now that we're coming back in person. Music is just such a social, it's so social, and it involves a whole lot of social interaction. And so now we're starting to see a lot of the students that are wanting to be back in person, but also from an online perspective, and in that modality, we are seeing increasing growth online. So we're getting a lot of students outside of the city of Houston to participate within our program as well.
That's wonderful that we're able to bring people in from all over the world.
Yes.
And of course, music. I mean, music is something that I think everyone has a connection to. It's
Yes.
part of being a human being, I think.
Yes.
That, yeah. And I know that you've brought in some new faculty. What can you share with us about their industry experiences?
So one of the initiatives, I just took over as program chair for the department, with Dr. Scott Gaiman just retired. So my task has been put in front of me to really bring some subject matter experts into. That's one of my visions, is to bring those type of people into the program, because we truly want to give the students a real world experience, number one, because we are a workforce driven program. We want to teach in real time, and we want to have experts to teach that. And we don't want, just one professor teaching 3 or 4 different major, courses. And, and sometimes in that space, we all get tired. It can get watered down. But we want to make sure that we're giving the student everything that they need and they can have to just basically turn that switch on working space. So some of the instructors that we brought on, everyone is a Prince fan, right? I hope everyone's a Prince fan. So
Absolutely. I think you can say that.
right. And so his background vocalist, Ashley Tamar Davis, is now going to be an instructor in our program starting in the fall. We also, if you're a big gospel, a Christian hip hop fan of Lecrae, who's a multi-million, he has sold millions and millions of records. His music director is also a Houston native, is also going to be joining our staff as well in the fall. In addition to currently, right now, we just brought on Cynthia Roque, who is a big media and tech guru. She's responsible for Black Tech Week when doing Tech Week here in Houston. So she's on now officially on staff. She just started this semester. And we're looking to bring in these type of instructors into the program to make sure that the students are getting what they need.
Such a variety of experiences, and
Yes.
that's thrilling for our students, I know.
Yes.
And this semester, you have held what we call master classes, and
Yeah.
you're calling them campus beats. Can you
Yes.
tell us more about that series?
Yes, I can. So, it's funny. I created this in a drinking coffee at Starbucks one day, just sitting down, and I'm
The
like,
origin of all great ideas, right?
it's either that or the golf course, right?
That's
So,
right.
so, you know, kind of what we want to do is bring the outside world into the school. Um, so, the way that I feel, we have the new student, right? We have to give them the motivation to step out. And how can we do that? If they're not going to do it themselves, how can we help them? And so one of the things that we created is called Campus Beats, in which we're bringing the professionals within the music industry and entertainment industry into the school to give them the most rawest form of the industry for about an hour and a half. And this is also hosted by MISA, which is the Music Entertainment Student Association. And, you know, they can, and the first part of this is the Q&A, just really getting to know the person in their purest form, right? And then the second half of this is the master class, where they actually is a lecture series where they sit and talk to you specifically about what to do within what they do in their respective industry and how to do it. And here are some takeaways that you can take away to get yourself started. So if anything, we are now on number 8, our 8 campus beats, and I think we have a couple of more remaining for the semester. And this is actually the first semester that we've done it. So we're going to continue to keep doing this every semester. So hopefully by next year, we'll be on Campus Beats 30 or something like that by that time. So I look forward to all the industry people. We're now getting phone calls for people who want to come and participate. And this is the part I love of the gratitude and the graciousness of a lot of people who want to really give back to the students now. And it's good. It's great to see. And so we have the platform for them to do that.
Yeah, it just sounds amazing. And do you have to be a student enrolled in the program to attend these master classes?
No, we open it up actually to the public because it's also a recruitment tool as well.
That's amazing. So, yeah, so I hope you hit your 30. It sounds like you're
Yeah.
well on your way.
Yes, I
Um,
hope so.
Well, and your MISA, your Music Education Student Association,
Mhm.
have been also very active. Tell us
Yes.
about that organization.
So MISA is is there's a common saying that we have in the music industry. Half the battle is showing up, right? So this we have our students, and then we have just those students who are truly, truly serious and passionate about what it is that they are wanting to do. And so a lot of the in when these students make up of our audio program, music business program, collectively work together to do community outside the four walls of the school. They also interact with connecting students in the school. They help us with recruitment. They are really truly involved in our growth of the program as well as our partnerships. A lot of the partnerships that we've maintained thus far, one being, I know you asked me this question earlier, but one being with the with MOCA, which is the Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs. They're going to be coming in and offering not only sponsorships but really partner with us on elevating the business of music in the entire music community in the city of Houston, and they want to use us as a platform and a hub to do that. So it's excellent that we have this coming on board, as well as our relationship with Live Nation, with their mentorship programs that they have. So a lot of the students can filter their relationships through that as well. So it just opens up a lot of doors for those that are truly, truly serious about what it is that they want to do within the music industry.
Yeah, that's incredible. The collaboration and the partnership with the larger city. And I know Houston is part of a larger music scene. So
Yes, yes,
we're getting ready to wrap, but we want to let everybody know that there's a media arts job fair on Wednesday at A-Leaf Hayes. And that is going to include music business. That's from
yes,
noon to 3.
yes.
Tell us really quickly what students can expect to find.
Well, first off, they can expect to have a few companies out there that are looking for for those that are seeking opportunities within the music business. That's number one. But secondly, the panel. They'll be able to experience the panel, and one of course, Ashley Tamar Davis, who is going to be the new instructor. She's going to be representing the music business piece of this panel on that day. So she just drops nuggets like no other.
Well, it
So
sounds
yeah.
incredible. And I'm
Yes.
so sorry we're running out of time, but I want to thank you again for joining us,
Thanks
Dr.
for having me.
Christopher Cruz Williams, our HCC Music Business Faculty and Co-Advisor for MISA. We're gonna have all your information after the on the show. I'm sorry, on our post after the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'll look forward to talking to you again, Cruz. Take care.
Yes, you too. Bye-bye.
Thanks. And to you, Nick.
Great, thank you, Amy. That was a great segment. I look forward to hearing more about the MISA program and the Beats activities. The event on Wednesday over here at Ailey Face sounds wonderful. That's my home campus. So if I'm in the building, I'm going to stroll over and just see what I see. Looks like a lot of fun. Let me welcome our second guest today. This is Angelina Hudson. She is the Interim Executive Director of NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Illness, in the Greater Houston area. Welcome back to the show, Angelina.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I finally made it to the executive director role, but so it's been a minute since I've been on the show, and it was a treat to hear Dr. Williams. I may date myself, but I grew up under the instruction of the great Conrad Johnson, Bubba Thomas, Paul Harris, Isaac Boney, in learning about music history as it relates to jazz, jazz idiom, and those types of programs for youth and and young adults were so critical growing up. And music is one of the ways in which we take care of our mental health. It's one of the arts. And the arts have been long known to support expression and a way to get out, feelings, even if they're frustrations, but a way to kind of soothe the mind, if you will.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that. I've been on a lot of these Monday episodes where we have a music segment on Monday and a mental health segment on Monday, and it's absolutely clear to me often that these things are related. And maybe one day we should sit down and do a whole episode on music and
The
mental health.
impact. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, that would be wonderful. So I understand you have some recent stats for us about what NAMI calls a current mental health crisis.
Yes, it's honestly, it's not just a crisis identified by NAMI, but also NIMI, Mental Health America, but it's really a crisis among our youth. So we know historically that by the age of 14, 50% of all adult cases of mental health diagnoses are identifiable. By the age of 24, 75% of all cases are identifiable. So somewhere between 14 and 24, that's the area where we start to pay a lot of attention for early identification and early intervention and treatment. But the current stat is that, especially in the Houston-Harris County area, these numbers are getting lower and lower and lower, especially as a result, as it relates to suicide and suicidal ideation. Suicidal ideation is not that you have attempted suicide or even, unfortunately, completed a suicide. It's just that these are those that report that they've had thoughts about harming themselves, and that age has dropped from 8 to 11. And it's mostly boys. And so that's why I believe that if this was any other illness, right? If it was, if we were talking about cancer, if we were talking about HIV and AIDS, if we were talking about sickle cell or anything else, we would really treat this as a medical condition and say, hey, America, there's a crisis that we need to take control of. But because it's mental illness, we believe the families, that's what NAMI represents. We believe the stigma and shame is keeping people quiet about just how serious and how much in despair. As a matter of fact, Montgomery County is leading the country in the number of suicides and deaths related to opioids. And so we really are in a crisis situation. We know that many times that our young people will self-medicate. We see it on college campuses, especially in our freshman population. And the thing that I wanted to highlight is the obscurity of mental illness. We tend to think that a person who has a mental health condition is someone who's been traumatized, and that's true, but someone who's dealt with maybe a relationship breakup, a divorce, a death in the family, something tragic, a serious illness, a car accident. But the obscure thing about mental illness is that it's a stress related, there's stress is the trigger, and that can be the birth of a new baby. That can be, I just moved out of home, out of my house. I'm on a college campus. I'm free. I'm by myself for the first time. That can be, I'm about to graduate.
Could I pause it there and ask you to elaborate on this? Because I do want to come back to this question of stigma for sure, but I think our audience might be surprised to hear that there are positive events in life, like you just mentioned, a marriage, a graduation, a new baby, that can also trigger mental health episodes or traumas. Can you talk about that for just a moment? Sure.
The widest sort of combined between science and just family members agreement is that there's an underlying predisposition, that there's something that is in all of us called mental wellness, and it's a continuum, right? We can be unwell, we can be well, get unwell, and become well again without a diagnosis, right? That's just life. We have ups and downs. But there's some people that with that underlying predisposition for depression or anxiety, bipolar disorder, psychosis, that depending on the stressor, which is the environmental strike, right? And that can be a good thing or a positive thing. But whatever that stress is, it can release that underlying predisposition. And most of us, we need some sort of outside help to regulate again. And sometimes that regulation will not only be calling your friend or talking to your mom or your spouse, it may require medication, it may require psychotherapy, but stress is stress, and the body doesn't know the difference. So we all need
Could
to
I
take
ask you
care
a
of our mental
question
health.
about that, about identifying, we have a lot of people out there struggling who are just trying to do it themselves or keep it to themselves. And you mentioned that there is something called a self-test that a
Yes.
person could do, and that would help them know when they need to reach out for professional help. Could you talk about that self-test a little bit?
Yes. If you are one that says, you know, I got to pull myself together. I can handle this. I've handled other things. I should be able to handle this. But there are three strong indicators that you might need to reach out for outside help. Number one, you can't leave you can't go back to your regular activities. Going to work is harder and harder to do, or going to class, if you're a student, it's more and more difficult. You've missed a lot of class. You may have missed major exams or major deadlines. And now you have the already sinking feeling that you're out of control on top of some obligations that you've missed. So not being able to go to work, not being able to maintain your school schedule, that's one indicator, right? The second indicator is that you're not able to take care of your regular daily routine. You can't find things. I used to tell my husband, all right, now, every week I can't find my phone, I can't find my keys, and I can't find my wallet. You know, if you are constantly misplacing, losing things, that's a part of your daily function. People will have money in the bank and they don't pay their rent. They can't attend to regular functions, cars being repossessed, not because of lack of money, but they just can't attend. Then that's the second indicator. You can't take care of your business, your daily agency. The third indication is you can't take care of your relationships. You feel like the people who love you the most have turned their back on you. You can't get along with people on the job. You can't get along with your friends. So you start to isolate because you can't get along. Either you can't get along with inside or outside folk, or you can't get along with anyone. So those are the three indicators: not being able to go to work or school, not taking care of your daily function, not engaging in healthy relationships.
Well, that'll be incredibly helpful to any of our audience out there who are struggling or think they're struggling with mental health issues. I understand we have something coming up with NAMI on May 18th. We're going to have to add that information in our notes and our posts after the show. But I do really want to thank you for coming in today and talking about everything you have
Absolutely.
going on. Yeah.
All right, well, that's our NAMI Walk. It's coming up
Yeah.
May 18th, and we
Sounds
thank you
great.
for putting it on your platform.
We will. We'll try and drive some of our audience to that event. Sounds like a worthwhile activity. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And congrats on
Thank
your interim executive director position.
you. Thank you.
Always great to hear from Angelina and more about mental illness, which, we just can't, I don't think we can feature it enough. And there was a run, I wish I had thought about it earlier so that we could connect. It was Poppy's Run for Life, which happened last weekend. But you can still go look for Poppy's Run for Life if anybody wants to go look for that. And I know she's going to keep it going. So just keep suicide prevention in our focus.
Yes.
Nick, we have some news, events, and announcements to get to. And I'm going to start off with our Talent Engagement Roadshow for the spring 2024. HCC's Talent Engagement is hosting its third roadshow packed with valuable information and opportunities to connect. 2 sessions include Ready to Retire and the ABCs of Compensation. Plus, you'll receive treats and prizes. That's going to be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Wednesday, March 27th. This one is at Stafford campus in the Learning Hub. It's really great, so be sure to go check it out. I went to the one at Central. To register, check our post after the show for more information. And what, tomorrow, no show?
Hey, that's right. Because the HCC Communications Division will attend an in-service training meeting tomorrow, there will be no up-to-the-minute episode. Instead, we're going to be broadcasting a best-of episode of the show on HCCTV. So there's no up-to-the-minute Tuesday, March 26th. We'll be back on March 27th. And I sure hope that best-of episode that runs tomorrow includes some of our segments from the past.
That's right. We love it when our shows get re-aired. So if you're getting ready to graduate, the deadline is approaching. Make sure you're set with the 2 important steps. You must apply for graduation by April 1st, and that is coming up really quickly next week. Register for commencement by April 22nd. So for more information and making sure you're ready to graduate, check the post after the show. And also, if you are interested in indie film, we've got something for you.
That's right. Anybody should set aside Saturdays in April if you're interested in learning about fundraising for indie filmmaking. Raising money is one of the most challenging aspects of any film production, whether it's a one-off fringe performance, an indie movie, or a multi-million-dollar film shoot. Faculty member and filmmaker Jenny Waldo will lead this 4-week course that's designed to teach students how to get theater projects, web series, or films off the ground. This will be at the Elise Hayes Screening Theater from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays in April. To register for this $99 workshop, check our post after the show.
She's got great information. And if you're interested in taking some citizen courses, those are going to be on Fridays and Saturdays. HCC is currently offering citizenship courses at 3 campuses. For only $25, individuals can take U.S. citizenship preparation classes on Fridays and Saturdays, 6 to 8 p.m. on Fridays through June 14th. That is at the Eastside campus. And on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. through June 15th, those will be at Northline and Brays Oaks campuses. You do not need to register, but do check the post after the show for more information.
Well, the last announcement of the day is a reminder to everybody that summer enrollment is open. We've got classes in the on-campus modality and online anytime. We've got classes online on a schedule. We even have hybrid classes that meet part in-person, part online, and we have hybrid labs. To learn more about HCC programs, courses, start dates, and options to cover costs, go to hccs.edu/apply.
Thanks for being here with me again today, Nick.
It was great. I guess I'll see you next Monday.
Next Monday. But coming up, we have, don't forget, Up to the Minute will not air live tomorrow, but we'll show a best of episode on HCCTV, so you can still join us. When we resume, Texana Center will return for Good Works Wednesday to discuss March as a Disabilities Month to celebrate all of our differences. That's it for today. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.